Robert Plank Show, episode 220. Use high ticket coaching and consulting to scale your business with Eric Louviere. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Robert Plank Show. This is the internet marketing podcast where we talk about making money online. Our guest today is this guy that I've known for years. Actually, we're catching up now for the first time in a lot of years. His name is Eric Louviere, and he is a tell it like it is peak performance business expert who brings passion and inspiration to ambitious entrepreneurs from across the globe. He has 20 years of business owner experience and has helped thousands of people. Mr. Eric, welcome to the program.
Robert Plank, good to be here, man. It's good to hear your voice. It's been too long.
It
We need to
has
catch
been.
up.
We do need to. And we have the man, the myth, the legend here. And what I know about you is, well, a couple things. Like I met you. I went to one of your seminars like years ago. It's called like the Warrior event or something. And I know that you sold a Mike Phil same package. Like you built this whole call center. I know that you invented adding the word crusher to products. And I know that. And one thing that really stuck with me, well, actually two things. One thing that stuck with me about you was back when everyone was teaching, make an opt-in page, give away a free gift, you said, instead of going to all this work, just go to an article site where they let you grab articles and put them together in a report. It takes you 1 minute instead of a week. And I thought, man, that is like a super way to simplify things down. And the second thing that's always stuck in my head years later is you said something like, well, a lot of people, they try to teach, copywriting, or they try to teach email marketing or something. And then you said, and then there's this like different brands, like there's like Mass Control, for example, or people teach, persuasion. So they kind of add their own sort of flavor or their own spin on some of these things that have already been kind of tried and true. So that's what I know about you. So I mean, what's the latest with you? Like, what's on your mind these days?
Yeah, so well, we had since that time, I really got into consulting and coaching and providing services. So, back in the day when I would get a copywriting client and they would pay me, $10,000, $20,000. That really made a big difference in my disposable income. So, in other words, when I'm driving traffic to squeeze pages and then upselling them the one-time offers and then upsells and, starting out cheap and all that and making money doing that game, I would spend, $500 a day on traffic, for example, and make 600, or 800, and so I'd profit a few $100s a day doing that route, maybe $500 a day. But then I would get these really high ticket clients once in a while that would pay me, 20 grand, 30 grand, $15,000 in one pop. And that was always just really exciting for one, but two, I really enjoyed working with those people as compared to, a lot of what I call small ball now. Now I realize sales funnels and, low ticket products can really produce a tremendous amount of revenue. I'm not knocking that at all. I'm just saying that I went in the direction of wanting to go for, less clients, but more high ticket clients who, would pay me a lot of money, and then I could really roll up my sleeves and really dig into their business and really help them, go to a higher level. And so I started doing that, years ago, and have pretty much been doing it ever since. But then there was a couple of areas that I saw most of my clients struggled with, and one of those was traffic. So I started trying to really get really good at Facebook ads and driving really high quality clicks, really high quality visitors. And I've gotten really good at that. And that's really been a catalyst for not only getting appointments for myself or for my sales team, but also helping my clients so they can get, traffic and appointments and clients themselves. So I've been targeting like the speaker and the author network. The speaker author niche, and people that are public speakers, motivational speakers. And it's been fun, because those people are a blast to do business with. They're all performers, they're all really good at delivering content or speaking from stage or even like doing podcasts like this. They're really good at performing. They're really good at delivering content. They're really great at teaching and inspiring people and making transformations in people's lives. But they really weren't good at running a business or connecting the dots or internet marketing or driving traffic or anything like that. So I jumped in there and started servicing that market, and it's been a blast. But I also get all kinds of different clients. I just got a gym as a client, recently. So like I get lots of different types of businesses, but I've just been doing a lot of consulting these days, a lot of rolling up my sleeves and just trying to help businesses overcome barriers and obstacles and challenges to get to that that next income level or that next freedom level that they're looking for. So that's me.
Awesome, and there's a lot of good stuff to unpack there, and there's a lot of good things in there. And so like sort of what I'm hearing is that, well, like, I mean, first of all, like, we have to start somewhere, right? And you and I kind of look back and say, okay, back the days of spending $500 to get $600, it's kind of funny to laugh at it now. It's kind of like, peanuts compared to now, but you have to kind of generate that first income and kind of bootstrap or self fund your business or whatever kind of term you want to call it. And then it sounds like what happened with you was, so after a while you kind of looked at all the pieces of your business and you said, you did a kind of 80-20 kind of thing, and you said, okay, well, there's all these things I'm doing, and there's these handful of things that are making tons of money, a bunch more things that aren't really worth your while. So you kind of, after like playing around, you like cut the things that didn't work and focused more on the high dollar stuff, the high ticket stuff, the stuff that not only made you more money but also helped and reached more people, and that you were good at. But correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like those early years was to kind of figure yourself out, get a little bit of money and to figure out your skills. But I mean, did you need that initial part? I mean, would it be possible if you're starting over today to like jump to the coaching part, or were those early years really important for you?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, early on, it was membership sites, it was ebooks and things like that, and the so let me just put it this way: I got to a point where we had a multi-million dollar business, but we had I don't know 20, 30 employees. They were spread out around the United States, mostly in California. Had business partner. I mean, we had a lot of moving parts. We had a lot of overhead. We had a lot of costs. We were making a lot of money as a company, but and I was really working my tail off. So I was putting in a lot of hours to build this mammoth of a company, and it was really stressful and really tough. But then on the side, we'd get in these cash crunches where maybe we did 100 grand this month, but because of costs and everything, there's like 20 grand left. And so me and my partner would scrape off the bottom and I get 10 grand. I'm like, here I am running this multi-million dollar business. I just made 10 grand, So so that doesn't barely even pays my house. So I would need some more cash. So I would do, coaching or something on the side to generate some quick cash to fill a cash flow nightmare or crisis or situation. And I would end up making more money with the coaching or high ticket offers just on the side than I would with my multi-million dollar business. So for example, I'd fire up, my emails and do some promotion with a new offer I come out with for high ticket coaching or a service and blast it out there. And in a week I would make, let's say I'd make 50 grand. Well, I just made $50,000 just went into my pocket, with very little overhead and also not a whole lot of my time needed compared to the grind of the big business that I had where I was making very little at times. Now, other times we were making a lot of crazy money, but the all the moving parts, the headache, the hard work, so I sold that business. I got out from underneath it, and I thought I'm just going to do some consulting for a little while, and so for the next couple of years after that, I just focused on doing high ticket consulting, and I made more net income than I ever have in my life. Like my taxes went up big time because there's more net income, right? More personal disposable income, which is good, but also bad if you're looking at it from a tax perspective. But ultimately, the big difference was that I felt like I graduated to a higher level of business, right? Now, looking at it now, we're building up again to build a bigger business. But I think all the experience that I got, and this is why that was such a great question, all the experience I got early on is really starting to serve me now that I'm looking to scale up a bigger business now, getting salespeople and technical people and, getting a bigger office again. Like right now I'm in an office that maybe 2 or 3 people can fit in. I'm going to need an office that a lot more people can fit in starting in the beginning of the year. So there's a lot of things I'm going back to, which I left, but I feel like I'm going to be able to do it more intelligently this time around from all the lessons that I learned early on, and so that is true. I think that learning how to drive traffic to a squeeze page, and set up a sales funnel was paramount to helping unfold where I'm at now. So yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly right. It really has benefited me big time.
Cool, and it sounds like so now you sort of had this library of knowledge to draw from. So when you have these different coaching clients, like you have that gym or you have some kind of speaker, if they have some kind of weird question or some weird obscure thing, you can look back and say, oh yeah, that's a thing I did, last month, or I think a thing I did 5 years ago that maybe is kind of paying off now. And so sort of along those lines where you kind of like made all the mistakes first and like try different things and grew the business and then got tired of it and sold it and you're growing another business. Like, I mean, what are your thoughts on sort of like, I guess, I don't know, like on one extreme, people are kind of like, a lot of us entrepreneurs are ADD, right? A lot of people are always kind of switching gears. And on the other extreme, we kind of see some of these marketers who they're just singularly focused, but not really on the right track. And maybe like a lot of, maybe there's some old school marketers who are kind of sort of riding the wave down, right? Like still trying the old techniques that don't really work. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you strike that balance between trying too many things and then trying not enough things that aren't working? Like, how do you reconcile that?
Okay, well, the way I look at business is I kind of break it down to its core fundamentals, its core essence of what it is. So you have a problem and then a solution to that problem, and so someone pays to get that problem solved. And so it starts right there. So when I look at entrepreneurs, internet marketers, people that are looking to get into business or expand business, I say, what is the problem that you're solving? The one problem, the one solution that's going on here. If you're trying to be all things to all people, then it really saturates everything that you're trying to do and waters it down and makes it pretty difficult to succeed. If you, especially with visionary entrepreneurs who are very ADD, that makes it very difficult. So getting really, narrowed in on what's the problem and what's the solution becomes the focal point, and then everything builds from there. So, like I had a coaching call earlier today with a client who is also in this obscure type of business niche, and they do pretty good. And I said, one of the problems you guys are running into is you're doing way too many things as the business owner. I mean, one minute you're on Amazon getting that going, the next minute you're filled in a phone call from a prospect, the next minute you're putting a website together, the next minute you're writing a blog article, and I mean you're doing all kinds of different tasks every day, all day long, and that's why you're burned out. That's why you're miserable. That's why you're frustrated. That's why you guys are at each other's throat as business partners. I was like, you should really just be doing only like three things. You as a business owner should only do three, maybe four things. Like, for example, I can spend my time doing content, right? Which is what we're doing right now. So I spend my time doing content, or you could look at this as marketing, right? Depending on how you look at a podcast or interview. But I spend my time doing content. I spend my time working on my business. I look at it as like managing people, managing my team, right? So I spend my time doing that. And then I spend my time with some marketing materials, like maybe drafting some copy just because I'm pretty good at it. And or doing a sales video or messing with that traffic and conversions. Everything else I look to get covered by other people. So like when I show up at work, I only have a few things that I do. If I'm doing everything, then my mind will explode because I'm too ADD. I'll be like, I can't handle that. I get too stressed out. I have anxiety. My business starts going down. I'm miserable. I can't sleep at night. But whenever I'm really just focused on three or four main duties in my business, and I get everything else covered by, either outsourced people or services or employees or, partners or whatever, then I'm a happy camper, and I do such a better job at each one of those things. I could do a really good job at the content, or I could do a really good job at the sales video instead of hustling through it and just grinding it and putting it out there and it's crap. So quality over quantity as far as the tasks and all that are concerned. But I think what a lot of marketers and business people do is they are kind of spread thin. They're going like a mile wide and an inch deep, on everything that they do is instead of a mile deep and an inch wide. So getting really, really into the guts of solving that problem really, really well will bring the cash. So ultimately, look at my advice to the listeners would be look at what the problem is that you solve. What is that problem you solve? Now, how can you go get even better at solving that problem?
Awesome.
And
So,
then just focus on that. Yeah.
so it's almost like a think and grow rich kind of thing. Like have that specialized knowledge so that you're not the jack of all trades. If you're the jack of all trades, no one knows what you do and you can't charge a lot. But if you're a specialist in one or a couple of areas, then it's easy for people to know what you do and you can charge that high dollar.
Yeah, I think from a business perspective, I think the one of the most lucrative things I've ever learned in my entire career is what you just said, specialized knowledge from Think and Grow Rich. I mean, that is the key, in my opinion, to going from a day job to making a ton of money online, or going from a small business that's really just kind of surviving at 100 grand a year to making it a million, 2 million, 10 million. It is specialized knowledge. If now at the same time I say that, the other flip side of that is branding. So like I get a lot of people that come to me because of branding, because I went out there and branded myself a little bit, and that brings revenue in all kinds of different directions. But my main focus has been providing Facebook ads, LinkedIn, and coaching, like business coaching, and that's pretty much what I do. And I solve those problems. We solve the problem as far as we drive traffic and we help you convert that traffic. So we know very specifically what it is that we do. There's a lot of people that are clients of mine. They come to me and they're just all over the place. They're chasing the diet niche. They're chasing the trading niche. They're also an internet marketer. Plus they're doing blogging and they're trying to sell toothbrushes on Amazon. So they're doing all kinds of different things at the same time. And I'm like, I can't even do that, and I have all kinds of resources and people that work for me. There's no way I could even make that work. And you're trying to make all that work with a day job to boot and 5 kids. That this is impossible. Pick one thing, which should be a problem, and solve the snot out of that problem, and money will come by the truckload.
Awesome. So people kind of have it backwards almost, right? Like it almost sounds like people are thinking of like they have like a finger in every pie almost, and they keep hearing about, oh well, such and such sells toothbrushes on Amazon, such and such is blogging, and they're like copying other marketers, and it sounds like what you're saying is instead of copying what your competitors do, then look at what problem needs to be solving, and then solve it in your own way.
Yeah, a lot of people are out there chasing schemes. They're chasing systems. They're chasing, little ways or schemes or techniques or formulas or something to make some money. And they're focused on themselves and they're focused on trying to crack that code. If only I could just find this loophole or this scheme or this little fun little gadget thing I could do to make money, then I would be happy. And they're searching for that and searching for that, and sometimes for years or even a decade, to find this magical scheme that they could just sit on a computer and click buttons and it'll work. What I advise compared to that is, don't put yourself in your shoes. Put yourself in the customer's shoes, because you're going to provide value to a customer. What does that customer want? And so focus on solving a problem. Focus on them. So like I had a client. He comes to me. He's like, he's used to selling really cheap stuff. He was kind of struggling. I said, we need a $5,000 program. And he's like, okay. And then he comes back to me and he's like, here's what I got. And I'm like, nah, you wouldn't buy that for $5,000. And he's like, yeah, you're right, I wouldn't. I was like, bring me don't think about the price. Think about how you could truly, truly, truly help somebody that pays you $5,000. What can you bring? Act like they paid you 50 grand. And then what could you bring to the table to really, truly, sincerely, honestly help them? What could you bring to the table to actually help somebody solve that problem? Forget about money. And so he comes back when he's like, well, I can help them strike joint ventures. I've been doing that for years. I'm really good at it. I got it down. And so now we're talking, right? Now we're talking. Now you can come up with an offer that's going to sell like hotcakes, because you took yourself out of it and you put yourself on the spotlight on them, and thinking about how you can help them. And then now you're seeing all these opportunities of how you can truly help them. Then money just comes by the buckets when you do it like that. So yeah.
That's a pretty good mindset shift, and what you described there almost kind of makes me think about like your typical biz op crowd, right? Like your average like warrior form kind of person, which like nothing wrong with that kind of person per se. But what kind of frustrated me with that sort of space was if I would sell like ebooks or I'd sell little packages on like so those BizOp kind of communities like the Warrior Forum, and if I sold stuff for $5, $7, $9, it sold great, but then once I went above $10, the sales really dropped off, which was discouraging, and I felt like I was kind of doing a lot of work for a little bit of money back then in a similar way that you described. And even these days, even when I make sales from that source of traffic, I'll look at for example, like who logged in, or look at who's actually like using the software, and it's that BizOp crowd, the people who actually use the software, is way lower compared to the actual real people who are kind of building a business and not necessarily just chasing the scheme, as you say. They're actually trying to grow that and help people. So that's a pretty good mindset shift there. And it sounds like a lot of your coaching clients, is this like their biggest hangup? It sounds like that this is a big problem a lot of these business owners are having, that shift between chasing the scheme and providing that value.
Yeah, exactly. And you were really dancing around one of the biggest issues of all is, like if you're selling someone something cheap, like for $7, like on the Warrior Forum, let's say, there's a Warrior Forum user that's on a member of that site that's on that site. And let's call that person Ricky Bobby. So Ricky Bobby is on the Warriors forum and then sees an offer for $7, and then he buys it. And then there's an upsell for $12, and he's like, I don't know, maybe later. So he skips it and doesn't buy it, and he gets a $7 product. So he opens up the ebook maybe, or the product or whatever, takes a glance at it, but puts it to the side because it was only $7 and he's got busy, he got distracted. But then later on that day or that evening, he gets an email from me, and I'm telling him I'm going to coach him to six figures. So then he responds to me or whatever and engages with me. I get him on a Skype call or something, and I explain to him what I'm going to help him do, and then I say it's $5,000. And he goes, oh, okay, I'll pay it right now. I'm in. So he paid me $5,000. This is the same guy that wouldn't buy the $12 product as an upsell because he's in that frame of mind at that place, and that's what's expected, and that's the way he looks at those products. Then when I'm pitching him $5,000, he's in a completely different place. And he's in a completely different place, and he's willing to fork out a credit card and pay that because he sees it completely differently than he sees the $7 product. Does that make sense? It's kind of hard to explain, but a lot of my clients that are used to the small ball like that, and I'm like, let's hit some home runs over here and charge expensive, it is a big mind shift for them because they don't see that they're so used to people paying $7. They think no one will pay them $5,000, and they will pay them $5,000 all the time, $10,000, $20,000. So it's just a mental self-worth or self-awareness type of shift. Like, one more example. I had a client that they service special needs parents of special needs children, and they were selling cheap stuff to them. They're doing very well as a company. And I said, well, why don't we sell something for $10,000 to that market? They hired me to coach them. And they said, oh, no way, man. Our market will never, ever. They can't afford $10,000. Are you kidding me? They're broke. A lot of them are single moms and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, man, are you telling me that parents of special need kids will not spend $10,000 on their kids? Is there anything on this planet that's more important to them than their kids? And I was like, and if you believe that you could thoroughly, sincerely help them, then it is totally worth every red cent of that $10,000 and more. Just do it. And so they did it for $9,000. They went down, to $9,000. And at first it didn't sell. And then I reached out and, to dig in. Why isn't it selling? It should be selling if you follow my instructions. It wasn't selling. So they said, but we also created a downsell for $1,500, and it's selling like crazy. You know why? Because they believed it was worth $1,500. That's the only difference, is that I was like, it's worth $9,000. Believe me, just don't give up on it. You're downselling too quickly. They'll pay the $10,000 or the $9,000, right? So anyway, that's kind of just the route that a lot of the mindset set shift goes. So what you were hitting on there is really important as far as making that transition, that difference.
Yeah, and I mean, I can totally relate to that in being in different frames of mind, and that like if you're in a low ticket frame of mind, then everything, I mean, even like a dollar or two more is going to look huge. But if you're in that high ticket frame of mind, it's a completely different story. It's kind of like if you went to the grocery store and there's like a can of soda and it's $1, you're like, okay, but maybe if it's $3 for a can of soda, like I don't know. But then again, like you'll fill up your car with $50 at the gas station every single time. Or like if you go to buy a car, you'll be like, okay, well this car's 50 grand, but you're not going to say, I don't know if that car was 49,995 maybe. Like there's, I can totally relate to that, like the sort of that different frame of mind that people are being in. So anyway, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit and talk about your coaching that we've been mentioning a few times here and there. And so you said that you do you help your clients with, like Facebook ads and getting like traffic and conversion and stuff. So could you like tell us sort of what it is that you do for those clients?
Yeah, we do Facebook ads, so we get them the traffic, the ideal clients. We investigate them first to figure out who is their ideal, perfect, heavenly dream client that they want to work with, right? And then we use Facebook ads and we use LinkedIn to put those people, their prospects in front of them, and then we take care of the sales funnel side of it. So we do the technical as well. A lot of our market is not it's not good at technical stuff, so we handle that for them. We help with the light copywriting. Like we're not going to go write a huge sales letter, but we do some light copy with landing pages and with emails and the ad copy for the ads and whatnot, and some coaching. We help them as well because the traffic is one side of the coin. The other side is conversions. What do you do once you're getting these really high quality leads? Because I'm very good at sales, so I want to make sure that they are, converting those leads into cash for them. And that's where the high ticket stuff comes into play a lot, because like a lot of coaches and speakers and all them, they charge like, $60 an hour or $80 an hour. And I'm like, no, 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 no. We need a $5,000 program, right? Like, how much do you charge? $80 an hour. And how many hours does an average client get from you? 3. I'm like, that's way too little money. We're going for $5,000. We're going to create a package and we're going to sell the snot out of that, and you're going to make a lot more money. We're going to quadruple your income very, very quickly. So it's getting them appointments, it's getting them leads and prospects, but it's also converting those leads and prospects into cash, which is a really big part of it. And then handling the technical and then coaching them on product, because a lot of them don't realize that a lot of the stuff that they're doing, they could put into a digital course program and couple that with some coaching, and it's boom, it's worth $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. So we coach them through that to set up that offer and how to deliver it, and we do the technical for them and do all of that. So it's kind of a big service where it's all connected. But for us on our end, we do it every day, so it's very streamlined here. Like we know we bring a client in, it's like, okay, boom A, boom B, boom C, all the way through the process, and everyone kind of fits into that mold, and it usually works pretty damn well.
Awesome. So it's like, so a lot of these people that you're dealing with, they have a business, but maybe they're focused. There are things that need to be cut and new things that need to be added. And I keep hearing this from a lot of different coaches, where like there's that same E-Myth problem where their clients are working, in their business, not on their business, and all that, and they're they need that outside. Not only that, they need the outside opinion to kind of show them the things that they're too close to see, but they also need that business person, that marketer, because maybe they themselves are not a marketer. And so what kinds of people are ideal clients for you? Like you said that you've helped gym owners, and you've helped speakers and authors. So if someone is listening to today's podcast and they want to come and they want to check you out, like how do they know if they're a good fit for you in your coaching?
Oh, that's a great question. You're good at this.
I've had some
Uh,
practice.
yeah, definitely. Well, our ideal clients are speakers, authors, and coaches. That's who we focus on. But I would say, 20% of our clients are just a collage of different types of businesses. From flooring business and a gym and doctors. We have an attorney, so there's a there's kind of, and then we have internet marketers. Where me from, the internet marketing world. I still get people that reach out to me to help them with coaching, and we turn a lot of them away. But we do get some clients where, they're your classic internet marketer that's looking to escape the blogging world or the selling toothbrushes on Amazon world or something like that, and they want to scale up and make a lot more explosive income. Those are the people. So but mostly speakers, authors, and coaches is who we target. But we would entertain, someone if they're a business mindset and they're not looking for the schemes or MLM or anything like that. They're actually looking to build a real business.
Someone who actually wants to grow up and stop working so hard and actually get the payoff from all the legwork they've been doing all these years, maybe. So great stuff. And so, can you let us know where people should go to get you for your coaching, along with any other websites you want to mention?
Yeah, you can. People can always find me at just my domain name, my name, ericlouviere.com. My other web, since we've been talking about the service a lot, is webvance.com. WEB web, and then Vance, V like in Victor, ANCE.com. That's where we funnel people to for our services.
Awesome. So when people go to that Webvant site, so is that specifically for people who want more leads in their business?
Yes, that's the people those are the speaker, author, coaches that we funnel to that website. That's the company that provides the Facebook ads, the technical, the conversions, the copy, the coaching, all of that. EricLouviere.com is just kind of a catch-all because it's my name of whatever I want to talk about or whatever offers we have.
All right, perfect. So if you want to know what's on Eric's mind lately and what the cutting edge stuff is, then go to ericlouviere.com. And just to make sure that everyone has it spelled correctly, that's Eric, ERIC, and then the last name Louviere is LOUVIERE.com. And then if you want that the lead specifically, that's webvance.com. That's WEBVANCE.com. Awesome stuff today, Eric. And I think that there's a lot of really good like marketing and business and life lessons in here. And the big takeaways that I'm hearing is just that if you got to start somewhere, and if you found yourself chasing the biz op stuff, you feel like you're doing all this work for not a lot of money, then number one, you need to have a coach, and then number two, you need to look at your market and talk to your market and figure out what problems need to be solving, and you need to figure out what is your specialized knowledge so that you can go wide instead of deep. And if you're ready to make that leap, if you're ready to finally scale up, then contact Eric. Even if you're in sort of a weird business, if you're not necessarily a speaker, author, coach, then go to his site, check him out, talk to him, and figure out if you're a good fit and if he can help you to get to where it is you need to go, from a struggling $100,000 a year business to a business that scales to $1 million and more. So thanks so much, Eric, for stopping by the program and sharing all your cool wisdom today.
Hey, thank you, Robert, man. It's always good to hear your voice again. And, we go way back, and I have some good memories of you at that seminar and, hanging out with a couple other marketers there and, having lunch and drinks and stuff. And it's really good to hear your voice. It's good to be on your show, man. I appreciate it very much.
We really appreciate you listening to today's episode of The Robert Plank Show. Subscribe to us on iTunes and rate and review us at robertplank.com/iTunes.